Welcome to the advice column, and this week we're going to talk about annotations. I've been getting lots of emails about I want my students to annotate the text, but I kind of want to do it digitally, and you can. So here are 4 different ideas of how to do this digitally, and of course these are not limited, so we can add more if you want to customize this maybe for your classroom or mix a couple of these ideas. So idea number 1 is right here. This is called the Annotation Scramble. There's a video that goes over this in more detail, but basically the students have 15 minutes and you start a timer. And during that 15 minutes, they're making connections. They're making text-to-text connections, text-to-self, or whatever bullet points you want to add. Here's the Newsela article, and you can see my connections over on the side using the Google comment feature. So again, students are able to highlight words that they don't know. They can go in and add those text-to-text connections or whatever they need to do. They are able to do that. So again, that's the Annotation Scramble, one idea. And what I love about this one too is this is a first read. Students are going to come back and reread this on the tomorrow or the next day. And day 2, they do a cyber sandwich. So if you want to pair this up with a cyber sandwich, you could. So again, students use that comment feature. And then cyber sandwich, there's a video on that last slide. But with cyber sandwich, students are pairing up. It's like a think, pair, share with a partner. And they're talking about the maybe annotations that they made. Maybe they are making an infographic or writing a summary about it. And they are comparing what one partner found and what the other partner found. And the next idea is using Newsela and Wakelet. So right here, this is kind of a new idea, but you could go to Wakelet and you're able to create a Wakelet and pull maybe that Newsela article or pull whatever you need to do. And so what you're able to do again is I can go up here, create a new collection. I want to do media view, but you could pick whatever view you might want to use. And then I can call this like Newsela, and I'm able to copy and paste that text. So again, if I go over to Newsela, I can grab an article, and I'm actually just going to grab the same article that I used for this one. And I'm going to just copy all of this text over to my Wakelet. Okay, so I'm using add text. I'm adding that text. I'm going back to this scramble and I'm going to grab the rest of the text. I'm just copying and pasting all of this text right onto here. I can kind of scaffold it like I'm kind of doing. I could add images in between here if I wanted to kind of split up the text. I can go in and bold this if I wanted to. But you kind of see what I'm doing. So again, I'm typing out this text for my students. And then I might make this public and I can invite my students so I can send them maybe a link or code, and every student could annotate on the same Wakelet, or I could have them copy this Wakelet as well. So 2 different kinds of ways, and I'll kind of walk through that in a moment. So again, I have my text on here. I can add images. I can add PDFs if I had something else. I can upload YouTube videos. I can add all these multimedia things to this Wakelet, or my students can. And so as my students are reading, they could create a Flipgrid video to respond to this prompt. And the Flipgrid video would go right underneath this paragraph. They could go over here and add something from their Google Drive. They could go in here and add something from YouTube or create an infographic on Adobe Spark and insert that right into their Wakelet. So Wakelet could be another way to annotate, maybe using video or Adobe Spark or maybe Google Drive or YouTube. And then your students can really, really start to see what this looks like. Once I hit done, again, I can go in here and share this Wakelet with my students. And then they just go in here and they would be able to copy the collection. So that could be one way that I might do this. I could also, again, invite multiple people onto this Wakelet, and it could be like a great way to annotate with a group. So just one idea that the students could do. They can also grab that text box and they can type different annotations. They can go over here and use these reactions, and they can like certain parts of the text as well. So you can see all these different reactions that they could do. And then they could add a video about why they picked that annotation after the fact or during the reading. Another idea is read and annotate. So this is created by Amanda Sandervolt. And right here, you can see the text is over on this column, and this is just a table. And then over here, there's a question, and then the students can answer and annotate over on this side of the column. So you could add different reminders of different things that they need to do or annotate, and you're able to put that over on the side of this table and kind of help them create their ideas. You can highlight words that they might need to define or whatever you might need to do. So this one could be a really great scaffold for just starting off with annotation, and then at the end you can have them summarize what they've learned or read on Flipgrid. So here they can kind of take notes, and then they're able to record on Flipgrid what they've learned, or they could type a summary. So again, just another great idea using Google Docs. And then the final idea, and again, we can customize any of these for your classroom, is just rethinking annotations with Read and Write for Google. So this blog post has a ton of videos and just kind of resources on Read and Write, but you're able to have your students use Read and Write, and they can then annotate a tool. So this goes over the entire toolbox. And then again, at the end, students are able to take an article. I like to always take those Newsela articles somewhere else to Google Slides or Google Docs. So that way my students can use those comment features and they can start to annotate, or they could use Read and Write for Google, use the highlighting tool, and it will capture those highlights. So just another idea of a way to use Google Read and Write. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a Google chat, email, or if you have other ideas, fill out this Google form. So if you've got some advice on any of these ideas or have a resource, I would love to add it to the collection.